I've just got the manifold off the tractor there now, and while I had the fuel tank off, I just made sure that my new rocker shaft was getting nicely sealed. So I'm just going to take a bit of a look around here and make sure that everything looks good. So our gasket should be usable again. I'm not going to take that one off if it didn't come off, that's no bother at all. Yeah, so I'll give them just a quick clean up. Just this side, that side of it's dead put, I'm going to leave it there. So that's the crack there. So what are we seeing here? Not too bad, but anyway, this is the one we're going to go fitting. So while I am here, I always like to just give the main jet just a bit of a cleaning out with a bit of wire. So you look in with a torch and you can see that the wire's going down into the jet, and then you get your air gun then and give it a blow. I've also put it up on a bit of sheet sandpaper, and I've just made sure it's good and flat. Something I always do, it only takes 2 seconds. Once you do it once, it's not hard to do it again. And I do the same with the idle jet. I'm going to try and get the torch and show you just down into that idle jet, if I can find the torch, wherever it's gone. I'll get the torch and come back. I don't know, can this be seen? I'll get it to focus first and then I'll shine the torch in. See that hole there? That's coming in from there where your idle jet goes in. So that's what you want to see. You want to see that getting a good clean out with your wire. So I'll have a look in first from this side to make sure that you can see the opening. Yeah, can indeed. So in goes your bit of wire, and then when you look in here, you see it actually, see the end of the wire. So in with a bit of carb cleaner now and over to the air gun. Just a little wangle around of a bit of wire is all it takes. The carb cleaner. There you go, shooting out of it. And then the good old air gun. And it is as simple as that. So I did the same with the main jet. Set it then to 1 turn out, I think is for this particular main jet. They're all different. There's a few different types, I think there's 3 different types on the 24 T Zenith carb. I know the other spares carb has a different main jet. So screw that in. You don't have to be as fussy about this. Fine, so that's grand. Our flange is nicely flatted. So let's have a feel around in there, make sure there's no dirt. Work the throttle. See how things are looking in there, they're good. So this is ready for fitting. There's a little bit of pitting on it here and there, but it'll be fine. It's a very wide flange, thankfully. So I have my gasket fitted onto the manifold. So what I'll do is I'll get my Indian head, or actually I'll fit the gasket first, I think. I think that's going to be the better idea. And I have my U-bend left on it actually, because I want to try the other exhaust silencer now that I actually have a manifold that's not leaking. But I'm fairly sure it's not going to be after it starts getting flattened. So yes, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead now and fit the manifold. Another little thing, these studs here, you can't put them on. You can't put them on last, because they will not go on. The manifold casting itself gets in the way. So what you have to do is you have to have the manifold loose. So you have to try and fish in your washer in behind, then you have that done, you've got to put on them first. And I've often, I remember years ago, and I remember even when I was putting the engine back together after I got the head skinned and stuff, and it didn't work on the valves. I remember I did this wrong. So in other words, I put these on last, and what happened was you couldn't get, the engine was too wide to go over the casting. So then you use this then as your reference, just to check and make sure they're in the right place. And they are. So that's just a little pointer on that. It's just one of them things. It caught me out before. It's actually nearly caught me out every single time. So just a little bit awkward. So next job is to get my socket and have a go. These can be a little bit awkward. What I try to do is I try to put on my washers first. Might need snouty pliers every now and again. Put on your washers first, and then try and fish your nuts through. I don't know, let go through this way. Well, good. So there is an act to it, but I know I couldn't take them off until I had the manifold literally ready to come off and loose, that I could kind of jostle it. So they're tightening up lovely. And I find a ratchet spanner is very handy for the likes of these in the back here. Very handy. Saves you taking the spanner off each time. Or anywhere you can get a nut with the socket, so it's always easiest. Some of them you can't get at them. Same with the last one there, you can't get at him with a socket, so ratchet spanner makes life easier, gets the job done quicker. Now, I'm not tightening any of these up too much straight away, because there's no need for it until I get all of them in, and I way prefer to treat this like I would a cylinder head. It's a flat surface, so I tighten them up fully from the inside out. From the middle, I should say, from the middle, and work my way out rather than the opposite. So, any of the nuts in under here are nice and easy to get to. I think you can get at them all with a socket. And I found a few new nuts as well, so I fitted them some places as well. Used them up. So interesting to see now, will this make a difference? I'm sure it must make a difference, because the state that the flange and everything was in. So I think that's all nuts and studs back in. So I can start giving these. I don't think it's important like to be getting fussed about torque specs on these. I find they need to be continuously kind of checked for tension. So that's to kind of do an X pattern like you would on a cylinder head. That kind of a pattern there. These have to be tightened with 11/16. So you can use a socket or a spanner. it's a nuisance if these come loose and you have your heat shield on, as in you're trying to take your bolts out and these are turning. So I like to have these snug. So that's that. So we set TVO X pattern. Now again, these are something that I just check for tension regularly. They go through heat cycles and all of that, so that's X pattern there. Checking again. They heat up, they cool down, they get long, they shorten. So now this lad down here, what did I do with him? I didn't have the U-bend on the other one, that's why. But we'll get the ratchet spatter on it. So look, that's that. I'll come back when I have a bit more to show. I have the gold belly put back together. I didn't record the last few bits going on, like the carb and stuff like that, for the simple reason being that I had a little delivery here. So I have a new playlist set up for this Massey 35 that belongs to a neighbour of mine, and he wants me to go through it. So you can watch those videos on that. But all I did with the gold belly was I started it. It did sound like it's muffled a lot better. In other words, it's like there was a leak or two sorted. That's exactly what I wanted. I didn't get a chance to heat it up, get it on kerosene, get the heat shield on. I just literally reversed it out of the way so I could get the 35 in. So we'll call that job OXO for now, and I won't know exactly until I heat it up and get it running on TVO. If that is perfect, I would imagine there's going to be a little bit of retightening needed as things heat up, and I will make sure that everything is sealing. Again, as I said, up to now the only flange that might be leaking still is this, because it wasn't machine ground, it was just me, but I'm fairly certain the gas should be able to take that out. So that's the videos on the manifold. So I'm going to continue now with the Massey 35.